This is one of these days where I really struggle with the words that come out of my mouth, despite doing this objectively. So Jesse Michaels had Joe McGonigle, which I've talked about many times on my TikTok channel, by the way. And when he was tasked with remote viewing Mars.
They brought a target, and I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah, I have the envelope in my shirt pocket." They gave him a sealed envelope he folded over, put it in his shirt pocket. And I have a card here with GPS locations. So I'll read them to you and you tell me what's there. So the first GPS location he read was a huge pyramid. And I said, right away, this must be a new discovery because it's huge. It's way bigger than the one at Giza. And it's got monster rooms inside, which is not making any sense to me at all. That's okay, just report on what you're seeing. So I did that. So I went through 6 of the 7 targets, and whatever was there, I described it. And it turns out everything I described was there.
So basically, he was tasked with remote viewing Mars 1 million years BC. And what he saw, because he didn't know he was remote viewing Mars at the time, were 10 to 12 foot tall beings that were in cryostasis because they had a deteriorating atmosphere.
And so I came out of there and I said, it's obvious that these people are dying for some reason, but they're human. They're just really big people. They're like twice our size, 12 feet tall, but they're just like us.
There are also megacities, monoliths, tens of thousands of feet high, and God knows what else. But that's not the crazy part. That is not the crazy part at all. Once he finished the remote viewing session, and then he asked the agent, where are these coordinates? He said, it's not on Earth, it's on Mars. Because he likes to substantiate his remote viewing and to make sure that it wasn't his mind going cray-cray, but actual objective evidence that he was looking at through the remote viewing process, which the CIA has been complicit in for many, many years. This guy was on there, I think, for around 30 years. He went to JPL, which is Jet Propulsion Laboratories in California, with those coordinates and went to a desk where you can ask for negatives of satellite mapping of Mars from JPL.
And the guy from DOD said, Bob Monroe has the target in his pocket. So I pulled it out of my shirt pocket, opened it up, it said Mars, 1 million BC, which made me angry. And I'll tell you why. I hate doing a target where I cannot prove ground truth, because then I don't know if it's real or I'm inventing it. It doesn't do me any good, and I can't actually sit there and say, this is exactly 100% correct.
It's unfalsifiable.
Yeah, unfalsifiable, but unprovable.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me angry. So I said, give me the card. I took the card and the envelope, put it in my shirt pocket. I said, the next time I'm at JPL, Jet Propulsion Lab in California, I'm going to find out where they have negatives of these locations and get them.
He then proceeds to talk about the images that he received from the guy at the cash register at the till, or whatever it was. And the guy responded basically saying, oh, you mean the cities on Mars? Yeah, sure, here they are. Give me 1 second.
I went to JPL, and they have a big counter where you go in and buy pictures of space. So I went up to the counter, and the guy said, how can I help you? And I said, I have this card here, and I handed it to him. And he looked at it, and I said, I'd like to see the 4x4 negatives for those locations on that card. And he went, oh, this is the old city on Mars. And he turned around, pulled a drawer open, and gave me a packet, had all the negatives inside.
First of all, I'm sorry, what, is this just common knowledge in the JPL? So everyone in JPL just knows this, really? And then he said that it's funded by taxpayers, so as long as you go with the exact coordinates, they will give you exactly what you request. It's not that they're hiding it, you just have to know exactly what to ask for. Sound familiar? Yeah. When you go to Congress, when you hear these guys talking about who to speak to, you have to know exactly who to speak to extract the exact bits of information regarding UAP legacy programs. We're seeing a pattern here, aren't we? So it's not that they're hiding it, it's just that it's compartmentalized in such a way that you need to know exactly what you're looking for. Understood. But that's not the crazy part. Not only has he published these images in his book, but he's just shown them to Jesse Michaels on American Alchemy. Like, you can literally, you can see the negatives. There is an image of what can only be described as some sort of device with buttons on it. You can clearly see there are buttons on it. And it's like, it's blowing my mind. I can't believe I'm even reporting on this today. But look, my goal isn't to pass opinion. My goal is to objectively report on anything related to the UAP phenomenon through credible sources. This man is a credible source. He worked with the CIA for 30 years. He's a military man. He was tasked with remote viewing. He was numero uno, the first one to be doing it for the United States when they found out that the Russians were doing it. And since then, he has discovered a lot. And that's why Joe McGonigle has a very special place in my heart, because I've been following his story for a very long time. But this is just crazy. Like, he shows the negatives of these images in this Jesse Michaels interview, and I'm looking at some of them now, and I'm just blown away. I can't believe what I'm looking at. There's also this underground structure, and you can clearly see complex, what looks to be like wiring systems or something. I don't know what it is, but it certainly is. That is not a natural occurrence. There's also this line that I believe is like 30 miles long, and it's a perfectly straight line. There's one thing we know about nature: it does not build in straight lines naturally. It doesn't do that. It simply doesn't do that. Or right angles, for that matter. Right angles and straight lines, not a natural anomaly, okay? So there's a lot to unpack here, but I think this is worthy of pushing out, even though it's not the regular stuff I normally cover. But it's important because I hold Joe McGonigle in great regard, as well as Jesse Michaels and his relentless pursuit to unravel the crazy mysteries of all this stuff objectively to the best of his ability. So it's my job to support Jesse and Joe by reporting on this as well, so we can get some traffic over to Jesse Michaels and this new discovery, which even watching Jesse Michaels looking at this, he's genuinely in shock. I've never seen him in shock like this before. Like, this is groundbreaking. This should be making the news, but that's why you've got me. So that's it for now, guys. You heard it first from DK. Enjoy this one. It's really good. Thank you.